a bit of a stramash, as we would call it in Scotland, between Kemi Badenoch and Nigel Farage. For some unknown reason, Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Conservative Party, decided to start accusing Reform of cheating on their membership numbers and started accusing them of making it all up. Nobody knows why she did it. Gawain, maybe you can answer that question. Gawain, very good morning to you.
Good morning indeed, Mike. You're talking about stramashes. I'd come up with a nice Scottish word of numpty.
Yes.
Well, I think the funniest thing is you may have been looking at it. You're a journalist. I have been looking at it because I'm a Reform type. What on earth, according to that first series of tweets that came rumbling out with bad spelling and bad grammar, what on earth was she doing fixated on our ticker?
Yeah.
And its back end? It does seem all rather strange. Surely she should be focusing on her issues, her problems, and the fact that she has no policies, than worrying about the insurgent coming up on her right.
Yeah, or very possibly having a look at what Keir Starmer's not doing to the economy to make it grow.
Well, the best thing's... the very thought that Starmer is asking regulators how to improve the economy just fills me with cold sick. It is a fact. She knows. And one of the things that's very interesting, it's quite possible the way she's going, particularly if Farage decides to take her on legally about the lies she made about him, accusing her of being fake, our numbers being fraudulent. Yeah. These are serious claims in the world of politics, because politics is all about trust.
Right. And also, you can't just come out with a load of statements and then the next day just kind of disappear and, pretend you didn't say them, and we're not going to follow this up at all. We're just going to brush it away, right?
It's apparent to me that she either has no media team or ignores them.
Somebody suggested to me possibly because it was Boxing Day, they weren't sort of around, and so therefore she took it upon herself to do it from home.
Me. In my 20 years working for Farage, I was always available. Yeah. Whether it was a Boxing Day, Christmas Day, whether I was on the other side of the world one year. Yeah. In Australia, I was still available. Right. You're never not available. Mm. Or if you are, there's something going wrong.
No, but you know what I mean by that? Is what I mean is they're not sitting in the room with her to say, are you sure that's a good idea? Whereas if she hasn't gone for their advice and they're not there, then she can perhaps go around them.
But that itself is a question about her suitability to lead, that she doesn't go for advice, as opposed to that she does. Yeah. There will have been people available, or there should have been. And if she did go for advice, they should be fired. Simple as that. Yeah. She has turned what was a bit of fun, a bit of trolling on the part of Reform, putting this, flashing that stuff on Conservative Central Office, into a serious news story. Yeah. And worse than that, of course, the fact of the news story has meant that since Boxing Day, we've gone to over 150,000, more than 20,000 ahead. And even in the last 24 hours, we've gone up another 2,000 new members. And this is in large part not just to do with how brilliant Farage and Reform are, but how catastrophically ill-advised, and she is Ethelred the Unready. She is deeply unready in both the advice sense and in the other sense of the word unready.
Well, also, it's a good stunt. Let's put it that way.
Farage is brilliant at stunts. He's always been brilliant at stunts. That's one of the things he's really good at.
But she's now made it, as you say, she's now made it like a serious story. So, people might ask all manner of questions, but the bottom line will be the momentum is with Reform and not with her.
And she has walked. It's not so much a trap. It's more a heffalump trap than anything more than that. Yeah. But she's stumbled straight into it. The point is, this is silly season. And there are very few news stories out there. Right. Other than that, which we were talking just earlier about the education. And in a silly season, enter Britain's greatest political panto figure, and that's Farage. Yeah. And by gum, he's behind her, isn't he?
Well, he is. And also right Boxing Day, right in the middle of the silly season, you do it on Boxing Day when there really isn't anything else going on.
Yeah, but we didn't do it on Boxing Day. Our numbers just hit that.
She did it on Boxing Day is what I mean.
Yeah, she did. She basically blew the gaff. I hope she had a very good Christmas lunch. That's the only other excuse. They did remove, or they did lose Alex Wilde as the head of CCO Press only a few weeks ago, and in that time she's gone to war with sandwiches, she's gone to war with lunch, and each time Nigel goes boo, and she reacts.
Yeah, exactly right. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this membership number, though, because she's also claimed that in the absence of any measurement of any kind, that the Conservative numbers have also gone up since she became leader, but she hasn't provided any proof of that.
Thousands of new members in that series of rambling tweets.
Yeah.
Thousands. Okay, fine. Show us.
Right.
Show us. Fine, no problem. Though I do note this. I have heard of, now I only see a small part of the world, and I'm not the eye of Sauron. I do not see everything, but I have not seen a single instance on any of my social media feeds, on anything, of anybody saying, with that, Kemi, I'm joining the Tory party.
Right.
Just not seen it. Now, there may have been out there. I haven't seen any evidence of it. She claims thousands of new members. Now, I think one thing is very, very interesting is the Tory party membership. They do their figures December the 31st to January the 1st, which is one of the reasons they sent out a whole bunch of leadership ballots to dead people and people who'd left the party, because they do a rationalisation on the 1st of January. My feeling is that 131,000 number of the Tories will have fallen off a very small cliff.
Do you think they might have pushed that forward a bit this year?
Well, but the point is, they do their rationalisation on the 1st of January.
Right.
So therefore, people who've died or left the party still get ballot papers. Now, I'm prepared to bet that if Kemi Badenoch does fall, and there is a new leadership election, we finally see their figures, because though she wants to check our back end, she ain't letting anybody see her back end. We've said we'll have a top 5 accountancy firm check ours. If you'll check it, you show me yours and I'll show you ours.
It's all mad, though, isn't it? It's all completely mad. I mean, what does it all mean? I mean, if you are, as you say, if you're not an anorak like you, and I mean that in a pleasant way, and if you're not a hack like me, and you're just sitting around going, what's all this about? Why do I need to join any party? Can't I just vote for them? What's the point of joining them?
Well, but the point of joining in them is that you get involved. You are the local branch knows who you are. They can get in touch with you. They can invite you for drinks. They can invite you for cheese and wine. They can invite you to go out knocking on doors. But you build up, particularly with a party like Reform. One of the things that's very important about being a member of the party is the realisation, despite what the media have told you for such a long time, is you're not alone. You're not weird. You're not dodgy. There are lots of decent people out there who agree with you, who aren't going to shout at you. And one other thing... Well,
we've been doing that for years, of course, here at Talk.
Precisely. But there are another thing. There's a suggestion that quite a lot of these people... I mean, what sort of person joins a political party on Christmas Day?
Right.
I mean, what a bizarre thing to do. But there was the suggestion that it was sort of grandparents going to Christmas dinner with their family and being told their ghastly races, saying, damn this, I'm off to join Reform. I would say it maybe the other way around. It's teenagers looking at their woke parents going, sod this, I'm going to join Reform. I suspect it's that way around just as much as the oldsters.
Yeah.
And so what you've got is a silly season story, a very brittle, very thin-skinned Tory party leader, and Nigel Farage enjoying himself no end, off to the hunt, with the dogs around him, with a pint of beer in his hand, having a whale of a time. And the contrast between these two figures, the scared, brittle, fragile Tory leader and the ebullient Farage, cuts through.
Yeah,
it
does. It does, and it all feeds into the narrative that he would want to have created, although, happily, she's created it for him, so he doesn't even have to be accused of stunting it up, because she's done it.
We could believe our luck.
I know. Extraordinary. Merry Christmas, I think we should get. As somebody said earlier on Twitter, looking forward to Kemi Badenoch being appointed full-time marketing director for Reform, since she's already done such a good job so far.
But it's a job that's... I don't believe the job's open, but maybe it should be.
Yeah, maybe. Gawain, good to talk to you. Have a good New Year. Thank you. Gawain Towler there, former advisor to Nigel Farage.